The human brain is divided into 3 layers. The first layer controls functions like breathing, circulation, and digestion. It's called the reptilian brain. And then you have the second layer, which is called the mammalian brain. It's the feeling brain where you show and express emotions. And then you have the third layer, which is what separates human brains from animals. It's the thinking brain where you have the prefrontal cortex. Now, most of the most powerful discoveries I have made concerning the brain is that the feeling brain and thinking brain work in inverse proportions, or they have an inverse relationship with each other, such that when the thinking brain comes alive, the feeling brain shuts down, and vice versa. I'll take that again. When the thinking brain comes alive, the feeling brain shuts down. But what happens is that when your feeling brain comes alive, your thinking brain shuts down. When your feeling brain comes alive, your thinking brain shuts down. However, for you to understand it clearly, the feeling brain controls predominantly negative emotions, while your thinking brain controls not just your cognitive functions but also your positive emotions. I'll take that again. The feeling brain controls predominantly negative emotions, but the thinking brain controls not only cognitive functions but also positive emotions. Now, to prove that to you, I'll show you this. Have you noticed that when people get angry, which is a negative emotion, the thinking brain shuts down? To prove to you that when the feeling brain comes alive, the thinking brain shuts down. So a man was in an altercation with his best friend. He got angry and he punched his best friend, and his best friend died, and today he's serving a life sentence. Now, when his anger was aroused, his thinking brain shut down and he took a very regrettable decision. So when the feeling brain comes alive, the thinking brain shuts down. Now, I'll share some more examples. At that World Cup final where Zinedine Zidane gave the infamous headbutt to Materazzi, he was red carded and France went on to lose the final to Italy. Now, so in his anger, when a negative emotion like anger came alive, thinking shut down and he took a regrettable decision. So you will find out that every time negative emotions come alive, thinking shuts down and human beings take regrettable decisions. Why? Because the thinking brain has an inverse relationship with the feeling brain. When the feeling brain comes alive, the thinking brain shuts down, and when the thinking brain comes alive, the feeling brain shuts down. So that's the way it works. Now, let me prove it with other emotions. Boris Becker is a German tennis legend, won Wimbledon 3 times, and he says the worst decision I took in my life was impregnating Angela Imakova in a London restaurant. No boom. Now, guess what? In a London restaurant, he had sex with Russian model Angela Imakova, and he said it was the worst decision of his life. What happened was that there was an arousal, horniness, negative emotions came alive, and then he says, I took a regrettable decision, because when negative emotions come alive, the thinking brain shuts down, and that's where poor decisions are taken. I'll give you another example. Fear is a negative emotion. When people are afraid, they take regrettable decisions as well. So I know of doctors who were afraid and they couldn't even administer injections, simple injections, because when the negative or when the feeling brain comes alive, even the cognitive brain shuts down. I'll give you another example. I was training a celebrity artist, or an artist, R&B artist, and I was telling her about this, and she said it's exactly true. What you're saying is true. Why? She said she was going to perform the national anthem before an audience, and she said she was afraid and she forgot the national anthem. Why? When the feeling brain, negative emotions come alive, the thinking brain shuts down. So fear is a negative emotion. She was afraid and then she forgot the national anthem. That's how it works. Now, I'm going to corroborate this with another statement I want to make, or to advance this train of thought with another statement, and that is this: the deeper your thoughts, the more control you have over your emotions. I'll take it again. The deeper your thoughts, the more control you have over your emotions. So one of the ways to attain emotional intelligence that we have not been told about by so many AI experts is that we should deliberately aim to deepen our thoughts, to think deeply, critically, to go and invest in a lot of critical reading, research, thinking, because the deeper your thoughts, the more control you have over your emotions. Now, this explains why it's easier for a Nobel Prize winner to control his anger than a street thug. This explains why you see more street thugs losing their tempers and engaging or being caught in crimes than you would see university professors or Nobel Prize winners or Pulitzer Prize winners, because the deeper your thoughts, the more control you have over your emotions. Do you hope to control your emotions? One of the most definitive things I think you can do is to deliberately decide that I'm going to deepen my thoughts. How? I'm going to spend more time in silence thinking. I'm going to spend more time researching, reading, reasoning, writing, and by doing so, I will deepen my thoughts and have more control over my emotions. I hope this works well for you. Do have an amazing day. Bye for now. I want to facilitate a class on breaking down the concepts of the Bible, not just these 3, but many more. If you're interested, please call the numbers on the screen, send me a DM, and we'll reach out to you.